Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 154, Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Kernia. To my right, Mike Stay Kernia.
What's going on?
To my left, Art. He has scanned Uranus and he likes what he sees. Rosian.
What? Ooh.
You haven't scanned Uranus yet? No. You've been playing Starfield for that many hours and you haven't scanned Uranus yet?
I didn't know you could do that.
You're missing out. You can scan all the planets.
Yeah, I mean, I know you can scan the planets. I've kind of been just like eye on the prize. I go to the planets with the objectives.
Oh.
I haven't scanned. Yeah, the first planet I scanned quite a bit, and then after that I was just like, all right, let's just keep moving here.
So Starfield is out. We've all played it to some varying degrees, and I think we're gonna talk about that later, right? I think we should probably do our normal rigmarole, what else we're playing, and then at the very end just talk about Starfield like crazy because I did a lot of Starfield yesterday.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed so much. I texted you today saying, "What'd you do yesterday?"
Yeah, we'll get into it then. We'll get into it. But yeah, like what before we do, move off Starfield real quick. When I did boot it up for the very first time, I was thinking like how crazy it is, like how long ago that was like announced.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it was the same logo, like all that kind of stuff, and even before that, it was rumored way before that too. So it was really kind of crazy. Like it didn't seem real for so long, and we're playing it now. It's very cool. But yeah, so Starfield came out. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. But I think we're just getting to a normal rigmarole right now. So Steak, what you playing?
All right, let's go down to. Am I loud enough? Yeah, I think so. Let's go down to Steak's VR corner for a little bit here.
It's been a minute.
It's funny because I was on the way over here. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder if he regrets that PSVR 2 purchase.
I don't necessarily regret it. I definitely am not playing it as much as I thought. It's nice because it is one of those things where like it's still better than the PSVR 1. Where in terms of like I could just connect it with one cord whenever I want to, pop. So it's still like that.
Not the headache you had to go through.
It's still not that headache. So it's like I don't play a ton, but I do play here and there. You know what I mean? At least do play here and there and things like that. And I don't have to like just connect the HDMI cables and stuff because the original PSVR did not have like the HDR pass through and all that stuff like my original box until they released that second box like months later, and then they wouldn't give us the new box for free, which is so stupid. Anyways,
not only they wouldn't give it to you for free, it wasn't even like a simple swap thing.
No, not at all. You got to buy a whole new thing. Like there was no way to swap it whatsoever.
There was something else that didn't work out too. Like one of the cords were different or something too, wasn't that?
They switched. They like kind of changed it a little. Yeah. It's because it was for the HDMI. Yeah, it was so crazy.
Anyway.
But the Dark Picture Switchback. I actually forgot to talk about this last time. Finally got the big update, the visual update, the bug update, all that good stuff. So I went through and finally finished the story and everything, and it looks way better. It runs way smoother. So I cannot wait to go through it again because a lot of the levels have like where you could shoot the arrow to go right or left like while you're on the track. I always went right. So now this time I will always go left for my next playthrough. But no, it looks great. It plays great. And getting back into that, oh my God. Like I was playing it at like noon and then played it for like an hour and a half. Took the headset off and that is a very dark game. I took the headset off and the sun's out and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I forgot it's still daytime.
How long was I in there?
Yeah. It seriously felt like I was in it for a really long time. It was kind of wild. Another thing did we talk about, like I said, it's been so long. Yeah. Did we talk about the MetaQuest Plus subscription last time? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it had just launched.
It just launched, right?
The first month.
Okay, perfect. So this month, for September, the two games are Red Matter and A Fisherman's Tale, which are both supposed to be very good, great games. So I did start Red Matter. It's like, again, space themed. So another space game. But it's very puzzle-like. I haven't come to any combat yet. I haven't played a ton of it at all, but the movement's cool. Some of the basic puzzles right off the bat are really neat. The way you got to handle it. For being the first one, it still looks really nice on the Quest 2. It looks really nice on there. And then, but everyone's been talking about how amazing like Red Matter 2 is, especially on PlayStation VR 2, saying it's just incredible. So that happened to be on sale. So I haven't started it yet, but it was perfect timing because I actually bought Red Matter 2 first. What else to do was on sale. because it's very like it's still crazy to me. It's been out since February, and the rarity of sales on PlayStation VR 2 games is crazy to me.
It is okay. So like Sony has had more than a couple of their redheaded stepchilds, no offense, of the of their like hardware, right? I mean, it's just like
if you look at me, that's kind of like a poor analogy. I mean, it turned out fine.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is more like it's like the PSP and the Vita and the I and a bunch of other weirdo peripherals and then this this one always just feel, but this is like the move. Yeah, this is like a whole big thing and a secondary platform that has anything of note come out since launch.
So a lot of good games have come out and are coming out bigger, but no like Sony first party stuff,
right?
Which is crazy to me.
We're talking about things that are also on like the Quest, right? I mean,
right? There's a lot, right? Exactly. There's a bunch of stuff that's on there. And a lot of those games are coming to PSVR 2 soon, and there's a lot of new games that are going to be releasing on PSVR 2 and Quest same time, which is cool. So that's coming in the fall. It's just. It to me it just kills me that since all we still have is Horizon and that was it and that was a launch title like not even talks about any other first where the fuck is Astrobot? Are you kidding me? How did you not at least not necessarily have it ready, but how have you at least not teased it already or shown it off or something? There's got to be a new Astrobot coming. There has to be.
Yeah, I mean that's again.
That sold PSVR.
Yeah,
once.
everyone just assumed they're gonna have a new one for sure, and there's nothing.
And not only that, but I don't even see any advertising for any games for PSVR 2.
No, they do.
Not necessarily. They don't have the first. Clearly, they don't have first party stuff. But I haven't heard a peep about PSVR 2 in a while.
Yeah, no, and when they do, it's a quick little post on Twitter or something, or
a PlayStation blog.
They'll do here's 3 games coming on the PlayStation blog, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, and I get that's something they lean on is that having the PlayStation blog and probably saving on advertising costs. But I don't go to the PlayStation blog unless I'm specifically looking for something. Usually after they do an event or something along those lines, or if I'm looking for whatever the PlayStation Plus games are for the month.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, the audience that I think goes to the PlayStation blog is probably minuscule compared to the total player base.
And I mean, have they done that thing? Because they used to do that with PSVR 1. It'd be all right, we're doing this thing. We're going to announce 5 new things every hour for the next 5 hours. We're going to announce something new. I don't think they've done anything like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I haven't heard anything about the PSVR 2 in months, it feels like.
God, when did they do that? They have actually done something like that somewhat recently. And I think it actually was with PSVR 2. But it was it was a couple months ago. And it was and I think out of all the games they showed off, it was one that was a bigger type title, and that was kind of newish, and not this was on Quest 2 years ago, and here it is now, in a better form and everything, which I do appreciate. Don't get me wrong, because it's this is clearly Quest 2 is a slimmed down version of PC versions, where this is the PC version or better. So that is kind of nice to get that for some of these games. So I don't mind that necessarily, but I don't know, honestly, the one game I am actually super excited for that's coming, I think they announced the date. I want to say it's October. Was it October or November? Vertigo 2. So Vertigo 2 is supposed to be like the best game next to Alex. Next to Half-Life Alex. It's supposed to be that big. And everyone's talking crazy about it.
I own that. I should play that at some point.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, so I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that one. And there's some other games coming out, the Vampire the Masquerade Justice just got a release date coming in November. But the thing is, again, the main thing for me is still these games just don't go on sale. It's hard to spend. Even if it's a good experience, it's hard to spend $30 on a 2-3 hour experience, maybe. You know what I mean? Even if it could be awesome, it's just tough to do. Especially with everything else coming out and all these AAA titles or games we're going to talk about. It's just so it's hard to spend the money on those kind of things. Yeah. So that's why when Red Matter 2 was on sale, I jumped on it. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that. So, but that concludes the VR corner of my portion. So the game I did get back into now that I was done with Final Fantasy last time, and I was like, all right, so what the fuck do I play now? I don't know what to do with myself. What do I do with my hands? I finally jumped in and played beginning to end, Like a Dragon Ishin.
Oh, wow.
So I finally went through that. It was great. It's fantastic. Typical, amazing, crazy, all over the place story that I expect from the studio. A couple crazy twists that were awesome, as always. They're always really good about that. They know exactly when that story is just about to get dull, and then bam, they hit you with this like a curveball to kind of kick things back into gear, which is just great. It looked visually nice. Man, this game had some weird ass glitches though. Like there was one time I was in a cutscene and then my screen just started flashing colors. Weird. It was like, but then like the camera would change and it'd be fine, and then go back to that same camera was flashing before and it starts flashing again, and like it was like crazy, some crazy stuff going on there. But this one is more the brawler style. But it was done really well, and the environment, I really liked the environment. It was kind of cool with it going back to like the samurai old school days, and then seeing all the characters that I know from the Yakuza series being in different roles in this and everything, which was really neat.
So I know it's back in a samurai setting with like the characters you're familiar with. Like, how does it tie into like the whole overall like Yakuza story, or is it just like a one-off?
It's a spin-off.
Okay.
It's a spin-off, but like same characters, they all have different names, but some of them are similar to like what their actual names are and things like that. But no, it's just like so this way you at least all of the characters that they have the same like personalities kind of too and things like that, just in a new setting, a new environment.
But that the man who erased his name, right? The thing that was called.
Yes.
That is like between six. Wait, no. I guess between 7 and 8.
Yes.
Like story-wise too,
Yes.
though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is going to be, again, it's going back to brawler style for that game too. But it is going to be like it's going to basically we're going to find out what Kiryu's been up to since like I think it's going to start like during like I have a hunch it's going to kind of start during 7 because he shows up in 7. So I have a feeling it's going to kind of start in that kind of era, and then it'll be the in between stuff, because then I guess once you complete the game, you unlock the demo for 8. That's coming out. But you have to finish. You cannot play the demo until you complete the game.
Interesting.
Which tells me a lot. Like basically right off the bat there. Like, because this is basically like a prequel to 8. Like essentially, I have a feeling. I mean, I have a feeling too. If you don't play this, you'll be fine going into 8. They always do a really good job of like catching you up, or like things to read and stuff to get you caught up. But I'm excited to see how that's gonna go. And the game's going to only be $50. It sucks that it's digital only, but it's in the US. But it's going to be only $50. So I'm excited for it. So then I wrapped that up, and then I had a few days, and I was like, all right, what do I play now? And actually I jumped back into Control.
So
Be
still my heart.
So with all the everyone going crazy about Alan Wake 2, and I'm just like, I don't know. I can't get into it, but I'm like, you know what? But Control, I was enjoying and everything. I'm like, well, let me give this another go again. Since we hit it on PlayStation Plus, we got that Ultimate Edition of it. So I was like, well, I was gonna have to start from the beginning anyways. So I was like, perfect. So I'm definitely further along in that than I was. I am at the where am I at that now? Because it's been a couple weeks now. The Black Rock area, I think.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So not like early, but earlier in the game still. But I was really enjoying it. I was playing it differently than I did the first time, which I think is actually why I kind of got into it more. I'm using less guns and more force power.
Oh yeah.
Because the aiming is just I don't know what it is about. I have the hardest time aiming in that game. Like I just can't for shit. I'm constantly missing guys. So then I'm just like, fuck it. I grab a box and throw it at them.
It's very effective.
And I've been upgrading that so like it's strong as hell now too. So that's been very helpful.
If you okay, I'm not saying you have to get to this point, but I mean at some point if you end up like not getting through to it, you have got to YouTube. Is that the matchstick maze? I think is what that part is called. It's one of the coolest like things you do in a game of all time.
Okay.
If you are like, I think I'm done with this, and whatever. Just Google that, dude. It is.
Nice.
It's something special, and you specifically would love it.
Nice. No, perfect. Yeah, and it's funny. That must be the part because my other buddy Joe. He's like there is a part in this game you will love. And then keep going.
It has to. Yeah, because you can find it early, but you can't figure out the mystery of it until a little bit later in the game.
Okay.
So you can walk around this thing and
Sure.
just
You have no idea,
there's-
though.
you can't get out of the maze until
gotcha.
you get a little bit later in the game and you get a way to get out of the maze.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be. I think Control is actually gonna be like my I need a break from the stuff I'm playing. Because I am like I said, this I definitely I enjoyed it when we played it. Back when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I did hit a point. I was definitely enjoying it even more now. Especially I think switching up the way I was playing the game too helped a lot.
Sure.
And the last thing, this unfortunately came out 2 days before Starfield, but it is so good. Sea of Stars.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the new game from the company that did The Messenger. But this is like a pixel-aided turn-based combat that's kind of similar to Chrono Trigger in a way. It's got some time-based attacks and things like that while it's turn-based. Oh my god, it is awesome. It's so good. It looks amazing. The story is great. The music is just so good. They know the music they're using at the certain points is just so good. I love it. I love it so much. And then it even has some Metroidvania aspects to it where there's areas you can't get to until you've unlocked that power and everything. And there's quite a few mechanics in this game too. At first it was a lot because they introduced everything to you within the first couple hours. They're all right, here's everything that we're going to be doing throughout this whole entire game, which was a lot at first, but now it's okay, now that we got through that, and now okay, cool. Now you can kind of go on your own ways, use certain things when you want to, and things like that. But no, this is basically the game I've been going back and forth right now with Starfield on because it's that good. I last night I had intentions of playing Starfield. I ended up playing that for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was just one of those where it's I just wanted to keep going because I finally hit a point where I unlocked a new power, so I was able to access a whole bunch of new areas. So I just kept going.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass and also PlayStation Plus Extra if you have it.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Because that was actually day one.
Oh.
Yeah, for once, a game that was day one on there as well. Yep.
That's what you said?
Yes.
Art.
Yo.
Which plane?
Outside of Starfield, the only thing I've been playing is Madden. Before the pitchfork mob comes after me, Mike bought it first. Twice. Twice.
I bought it twice.
Both disgust me.
Yeah, I paid $40 for it.
I paid $40 for it once.
What about the other time?
It was a gift for a child. Okay.
The question: do you play against him online or go to their house and play against him?
No, but he basically plays that.
You need to smack that kid around in the game. Let him know what's up.
Nah.
Nah.
I want to humble the boy.
Yeah, you do.
He plays that and he plays the show. That's pretty much all he plays. So
Well, he'd probably smoke you in the show.
he would definitely smoke.
So
in the
you
show.
should, beat him in Madden. Yeah, I mean, I bought it because football season's starting. I got the itch and I want to play a football game.
all football-y.
Yeah, I was starting to get all itchy. It's fine. It's Madden.
Of the new things, the catching on the run actually seems to work.
Yes.
When you throw it ahead of the guy and you press the button to catch it and run.
Yeah.
There are.
Oh, that's good.
Even when you do a hitch and the guy is coming back and stops, he'll make it he'll do kind of a half a turn as he's catching it and he'll actually run. So that has worked. I have noticed a better downfield blocking as well. I have seen that. I have felt that definitely is better. But there's still a bunch of really dumbass line play too. When the guy just my 87 overall right tackle just spins in a circle and doesn't miss him or just misses a guy completely on my fullback bypasses a guy that's right in front of him to block a guy 10 yards
go for the
downfield.
safety?
Yeah, just
not the defensive end. He needs to seal off for you to hit the hole. No, he just skips that guy and goes to the safety 20 yards downfield.
I'll take my chances against the safety,
Right.
but I'm not gonna get past that end.
Yeah.
Dumb shit like that always happens.
I mean, that happens, but to me, I kind of expect it, though, because I don't have a fullback, so I'm shoehorning a third-string tight end in there, so, okay. One thing that's really, to me, it's annoying, but I notice it more so with offensive line than anywhere else, is you have, the player class or style or whatever the hell you want to call it. For offensive line, if your player skill does not match what your coach's scheme player skill is, it fucks them up. So I did a fantasy draft. I have an offensive line that's okay, mostly guys in the high 70s, mid to low 80s. My team scheme is agile for all my linemen. Everyone except my left guard is agile. My left guard is a power guy. My left guard is Quentin Nelson, who's a 95 superstar.
Shouldn't matter what offense you're running. He should be good.
He's a 95 power and he's a 94 agile. So 1 point off. He looks like he's fucking lost out there on zone run plays to his side. He should be going to get the linebacker and he's just standing there like he's pass blocking.
Dude, I drafted a guard. I think I told you before I started. He was a 3rd round guy. He had like the secret dev traits. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good, and he is fucking awesome. He's just downfield, just pancaking motherfuckers, and it is so. But he fits my scheme. So
Quentin Nelson. So on running, he sucks. If I throw a screen pass to his side, God help any defensive back that gets in his way.
Dude, it's like
because they are just he is just, they're not staying on their feet.
No,
I stop running and wait for him to catch up and go in front of me. Like I'll be standing still. You coming? And he'll get there eventually, and that cornerback is gone.
I mean, other new stuff like the mini camp stuff is okay.
It
was broken when it first came out. They fixed a couple of those games since, so like they all work now as far as I can tell.
All the improvements they touted to franchise. It's like, okay, it's cool that you can throw more stuff in a trade. That's
but you can only have 3 players.
Yeah, which is
you have 6 slots, but you can only put 3 players in at a time.
There's that. There's the mini games, which whatever. I could take them or leave them.
Yeah. But I end up doing the same ones every single time because, I'm going to win trench battle. I'm going to win, the skeleton passing. I'm going to win those things. There's none for offensive linemen. So, they're having them, you can put them in those squares where you get, extra dev time, extra XP, but, you can't do it in those games with them. But you don't have any games for them. Also, really quick, before I forget, dumb thing on that little square dev, extra dev things.
Yeah.
If you have a guy in those slots and that guy gets hurt,
the spot's just
the spot's gone.
And, yeah.
You can't put anyone else in that spot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is so dumb.
I was like, did I lose the
guy?
No.
I had a rookie running back in one of those slots, and they got injured for 7 weeks, and the square's just gone.
Yeah,
it said I had 4 squares I could unlock with my coach, which you can only unlock 3 extra with your coach. And then eventually, he was back but got injured in practice the first time, and it was an error in the box. It wasn't even you can add it. No, it was some error message in the box. I'm like, all right, at least I know what's going on here.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
They took out the stadium momentum thing. That does work now.
Yeah,
so, you can turn it off now.
I know you texted about that at launch early on, and you couldn't turn it off. And I noticed a few days ago I was playing. I'm like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah. I only had an hour.
I always hated that thing.
I played for an hour before I got here, and it was gone. I haven't played in a couple days, because Starfield. But I was just like, oh, thank God, because it was the dumbest thing. I'd be up 45-10. Yeah. I'll throw a pick 6, and then they get all the momentum back. It's a fourth quarter. I'm up 30. I'm I think I have the momentum. You know what I mean? It's so stupid.
You can have that momentum. I'm just gonna kneel 3 times. It's fine.
And it worked even less if you were only playing offense. I do a lot of times. I know you do all the time. It made even less sense. You never gained it back. If you ever had it bad, you never gained it back.
I would say the best you could hope for is to nudge the other team below one of the
little tiers, whatever.
Whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, but thank God that's gone. That was always stupid.
Yeah, it's hard enough to beat the computer when they decide you're just not going to win, and then you throw that shit in there, and I don't need that in my life.
Also, it's so stupid. Why I'm at home. Why does my 95 overall quarterback and why do you have squiggly lines, or why do I not have how do I not know where I'm passing? It's just nonsense. It's just always just stupid.
I agree.
But overall, it's more Madden.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I'm not expecting game of the year out of it, so.
Sorry, I'll be joining you guys for NCAA next year, no matter what.
I mean,
I won't even be looking. I'll just be buying.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to feel ashamed about buying NCAA because it hasn't sucked for the last 10 years with tons of errors. That's not fair to say. Madden doesn't suck. There are a lot of bugs and errors, but it doesn't suck bad enough that I'm not playing it. So
it's still better than it was a couple of years ago. That first next gen launch was rough.
Boy, that's bad.
So now it's gotten better. And some of the franchise stuff is still dumb, but it has gotten better. The free agency thing, I do like that. It's not before it's just if you had enough money, you can just sign whoever the fuck. Now you can't quite do that with their
preferences.
Preferences is the word I was looking for. Yes.
Yeah, and also I like that, if you want to, make it more realistic to, impact those preferences, you can go into the settings and make it they highly favor their preferences and change things that way, which is I think is good because, yeah, like you said, you can just it's not hard to free up money in Madden in the past, and you can just throw a boatload of money at someone and they're yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, the yearly salary dump. How much money you're making? You're gone.
Yeah.
Let me try to trade you for anything first, and then when it doesn't work out, you're gone.
But yeah, I've been playing that. So I did the demo on Xbox, and then I did the demo on PC. Just in the time I was playing it on PC, they fixed the PC version a lot. When I first was playing it, it was a dumpster fire. Lots of
Like is this yours?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of skipping in the
Oh, jeez.
lag and animations, and they did an update at some point. It started working better. Basically, I got it on Xbox mainly because the stupid EA anti-cheat makes it so it's not playable on Steam Deck, essentially. Which let me just opt out of anti-cheat and I can't play online.
That seems fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's wrong with that? I mean,
I do all my franchises offline
just
anyways
gonna
because
say.
their servers go down and then you can't play, or their servers wipe everyone's franchise.
right, exactly.
But yeah, that was ultimately the deciding factor for me. It was running good on PC, but it was I don't always want to sit in front of my computer screen and play this. I have a Series X and a Series S at home, so I could sit in my office and play on the Series S, or I could go downstairs and play on the Series X. I like having the options of not being tied to one location. But yeah, that was the deciding factor for me. If there's workarounds, you could install Windows on a Steam Deck, and I'm not doing all that shit. It's not worth it for one game. So yeah, I got it on Xbox for now. I may go back and get it on PC later if they do figure out a way to get it working on Steam Deck, because that would be awesome to have that in the handheld and on the go.
100%. It's what I've always wanted. That's why
Right.
it's like as much as I know it would be a downgrade. If they were to put Madden on Switch, I know I would buy it because I would just sit on the couch and just while watching whatever or doing whatever, I would just be going.
But like you're saying, you're playing NCAA 07 on PSP. Or
oh my god! Like I said, I'm pretty sure my PSP battery blew up because of how much I was charging and playing that game.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing outside of Starfield. I've kind of been alternating between the two so I don't get burned out on one or the other.
Yeah. All right. So I got a couple randos.
Mike, what have you been playing?
Thank you. So I don't know why this game has been I've been eyeballing this game for a long time, and it was on sale for $3. I'm like, now's the time. John Wick Hex.
Okay.
So it's it's very weird because it's not quite. It seems like grid based where you can move around these environments, and then once you get into an environment where you have an open sight line with one of the enemies, you can choose to shoot at them or throw your gun at them, or if you have a handheld weapon, hit them or throw the weapon, whatever it is. And then everything, you have time bars up top. So I'm gonna do shoot. So shoot now opens up a certain amount of time on the time bar, but the enemy also has a time bar going, so I can kind of see where they're going and plan that out. It's fine. That'll be it's ugly. The game is fucking ugly.
Wasn't it originally a mobile game?
I think it was. It's definitely on mobile as well. I don't know if it was I don't know the lineage of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks like it was. They have some of the voice actors though from the movies, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And
They're
but
hoping to save it a little bit,
right? And but it's the game itself it has some interesting moments. But I went through the first and you before you go into the world, you actually set up you can see the path that you're supposed to go, and then you can set up a weapon cache here or whatever it is. So you can just like John Wick does in the movies. So you kind of plan ahead and do that thing. But some of the dumb stuff is just say all right, I turn a corner and I see the bad guy, and if I go if I need to retreat back around the corner to get cover, I lose visibility of that hallway. If I'm John Wick and I've seen that guy, I know who the fuck he is. I know what's going. It's I should if I have uncovered something or I can see if it I can see it maybe starting to fade as over time goes because that guy moves, but it is nanoseconds. You know what I mean? Because it is turn based, so you're doing a little bit, little by little. So if I should know where the fuck he is. I should be able to or shoot around the cover or do something like that. Your options are pretty minimal for being such a badass John Wick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't really feel like it doesn't feel right. So I did let that go. One cool thing is though, like after you finish your run, it does like the super hot thing where like it replays it like
cool.
in regular time. So you can see like how cool you kind of look like as opposed to being like I gotta go through the menu, look at the time. Okay, well I can probably get 2 shots off here, then I'll roll this way and I'll reload, and then it's like you get to actually see the the progression. That was neat. So but again, I had $3 worth of fun. So cool. So whatever. I played As Dusk Falls finally, which it seems like the most Mike-ass game of all time, right? It's one of those like... It's... So it was it's on... I think Microsoft funded this thing or something like that.
So, yeah.
It was, I don't know if it's one of those ID at Xbox games, but I think it was. It has like... picture motion, I guess the best way to do it. Like, there's no actual motion, but they have like pictures that like look like they're moving, and sometimes it looked good, sometimes it looked fucking terrible.
Yeah,
like especially when you're like, because like all the backgrounds and the items are still in 3D. So like a guy would be in a car, but it'd be his still face.
Oh yeah,
and like it just didn't look right, but like the choices, and like they do the thing at the end of each chapter where you can see like your choices, like the branching options of it. You can't see what the other choices are, but you see like where like the big defining moments were, like when someone died or wherever it is, and there are different ways to avoid it. There are 2 books that are in there. I finished the first book and I started getting into the second one, and I was just like, this story is so implausible, like it's completely taken me out of this thing. So like it's just like this is all just way too convenient. Like so like at one point like you're a hostage. These 3 brothers have robbed the town sheriff, and now they have fled the police to this motel that you're staying at with your family. The cops come across and find them, and like an hour later they have like an armored school bus that they didn't even know that they needed, like because the robbers asked for like a school bus to like get them to the helicopter pad to take off, and they're like, that looks really low, and because they like armored it and like lowered it, and like it's been like 45 minutes. They couldn't even acquire a bus in that time period, and if they did, they wouldn't smash it through the front window with all the hostages on the other side of it. You know what I mean? It was just like, come on, like it was.
As far as acquiring the bus, you don't know what kind of neighborhood their school district is.
That's right.
It was in Arizona, and it looked lovely, so it makes no sense. And then like so, and and later on, like you're in the getaway car and you're driving, and all of a sudden like, oh, there's a thing in the road, let's turn, and like you're flipping off. I was just like, oh my fucking, like this is all just too convenient. Like this just like there could have been different things. Like it was, I just didn't like the story itself. Is just like, this is too stupid. I mean, like the stuff I liked some of the characters, but I don't know. Like I couldn't stomach one more thing. It was just like I like rolled my eyes like 4 or 5 times at like key like points. I'm like, oh come on. And also like my main character died. Like I'm like I hit one of those things where I like jam on a button until I get it, and like I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. And it was like, and my like the main character died. And I'm like, and the story continued, which was cool.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there's no way. I was like, okay. First of all, like I didn't even get like a death scene. Like I just got like a failure, and like the guy like stands up and walks away. Like, am I dead? Am I not? And I found out I had to go through the timeline and see like, oh my god, he did die right there.
Oh, wow.
Like
That's crazy.
And I was just like, I was on top of this thing. Like how? Like I was jamming on the button. So I was like,
I've been jamming on buttons for decades.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I was like, this doesn't seem. I don't know. It's just the whole thing.
There was no way you were winning that quick time event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing, and it's so like okay, like then it took like my agency away from like where the story was going. You know what I mean? Like so I just the whole thing just felt not good. So I jumped. I don't think, did I talk about finishing Arcade Paradise last time I was here, or was I just like talking you guys into all buying and playing Arcade Paradise last time?
I didn't buy anything. It was on.
Oh, it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Downloading and playing. Yeah. Well, anyway.
I walked into the laundromat for the achievement.
I saw that
today.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's playing. No, he's not playing.
But that was it so far. Yeah, that's all. I was like, I need a quick achievement. I need to go back to work.
I don't know if you'd said that you finished it.
Okay, well, I did finish it. After I finish it, I'm like 75% of the way to being done with it, and I went in and bought like the deluxe edition because like that's how much I like the game. Like at some point it's gonna go away, and I want it forever. And when you get the deluxe edition, you get a bunch of like DLC like arcade cabinets, and that is just like that. I mean, that just accelerates you to the end, honestly.
Nice.
And I know you said like when you were playing it before you bought that, like there as you expand, spots open up for arcade machines, and DLC machines are all that'll fit there.
They're not the only ones that would fit there, but there's no way you're going to fill up your arcade without the DLC ones.
Okay, that's what it was. There was more spaces than default arcade
100%.
machines. Okay.
So like once once you finally open up all the spaces, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was like that. And then like I'm getting all this income because I got like all these new machines. So like it definitely does like kind of, it's like a catalyst to kind of get through a little bit of the monotony of the game. But like I said, like when I finished the game, I texted you guys being like, now what? Like now what?
Right.
Now what do I do? Because this is all I've been doing for like days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. That's one of the very few. I said that's one of the few times like either game was on Game Pass and I bought it, or was leaving Game Pass. Like Immortality just left Game Pass.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm buying this fucking thing. I may never touch this thing again, but I want to make sure if I do, I have it. Yeah, but Arcade Paradise is great. Like I have nothing new to really report outside of what I just said there.
Awesome.
Absolutely love that game. All right, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. So again, this is a cheapy game. This is like I know what I'm doing. I honestly, like, I don't even know. I don't know when I bought this game. It's called This Is the Zodiac Speaking. Have any of you seen that one yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a game.
It is a game. It is an awful game. It is actually
game in name only.
It is it's so like you're playing as like a detective during like the Zodiac killing, and you're trying to figure out who the Huey is, and you're finding clues and doing things like that. And I guess there's actually like branching past and who lives, who dies. Like it's loosely based on reality, but they play it up because it's more fun that way. And what the weird thing is too is like it's like also produced by Investigation Discovery Channel. So like I was like, okay, we got a little money there and whatever it is. This game is a fucking dumpster fire. So like I don't like, so I was going to the menu and I switched to invert Y access because I'm a mutant, and
At least you admit it.
and it didn't do it. It didn't do it.
Game sounds great.
So I go back.
I'd say this actually sounds pretty
So
good.
I'm like,
fuck you.
I go back and I'm like, okay, well, let me just turn it off then. No, nothing. So I turn it back on again. Nothing. Still, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll live with this. And then I move the camera for the first way to the right side, and it's like the camera intensity is all the way up. So I'm like 360 no scoping, guys. I'm just trying to like move around my office. I'm just like, wah, I'm just trying to.
I'm just trying to move 3 centimeters to the right to my coffee.
I just want to find my notebook. And so like that is finally wrong. It's just like, so I look at the settings like, okay, so I move that down. Like, let me just try this. Maybe they got X and Y messed up. So I turn on invert X and invert Y. And invert Y now works, but invert X also works, which is way worse.
Oh, God.
So the only way to get invert Y to work is put invert X on. So because I was like, okay. And then I'm moving around my house, actually, not my office, like my house. And I'm trying, you pick up like, little bits of story or like an item or your notebook. Your notebook is very important. You have all this stuff in there and you're trying to piece the thing together. And like, you need to be like precisely over the item to pick it up. And it is the most imprecise controls of all time. Like, so it's like, I'm just like, up, eight, wait, up, down, nope, can't get, and like, I just could not pick up a fucking pen. I just want to pick up a goddamn pen. So I didn't even get out of my house before I bailed on this game. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do this thing. This is killing me. This is so, it's so unplayable. And like, there's no rhyme or reason at all to the UI at all. So like, if you're in the main game, if you're in the pause, if you're in the notebook, if you're in the case file, to get out of those things is all a different button. It's like, so I'm like pressing buttons. Ridiculous. I'm like, it is thoughtless. Like it's like,
right, yeah.
It is brain dead. Like it really kind of bummed me out because I thought I was like, okay, this is kind of neat and like it sets it up kind of interesting and it's just like I thought there was gonna be something, at least, and it's like 2.5 hours and it's like. I didn't even leave my house. Like I couldn't even get out of my house because I'm not gonna miss. Like I just couldn't do it anymore. It was so bad. So this is the Zodiac speaking.
Pass.
Hard pass, everyone.
There haven't been too many hard pass recommendations in the history of this podcast,
Dude. It's definitely on PC as well, and it feels like that. Like it was just like, put it on PlayStation. It was like.
Just throw it up.
Yeah, it'll work, I'm sure, as opposed to like not working at all. Because, like I said, I don't know if you heard, but it's like, I don't know. It feels like if you had the mouse and keyboard, you have a little more control over like how you're moving around, like you're looking around. Because it was impossible. It was fucking impossible on the sticks. Last one we're gonna talk about now, the Game Pass game. Have either one of you seen or played Bramble, the Mountain King?
I've seen it. I have not. I want to. I've not had a chance to, but I've seen it. It looks cool as hell.
It's very good.
Nice.
It's very, very good. I played through the whole thing. It does a little bit of that like inside-y like feel to it,
Yeah.
but it does move in 3D. So like,
Okay.
so there is depth to it and things you got to move, not just left or right. But essentially, it's like, you know, like those old like German fairy tales, where it's just like, all right, if you don't eat all of your food, your grandma's gonna come to your house and claw your eyes out in the middle of the night. It's like that for the entire game. It is also the darkest game I've ever played in my life. Like darkest.
Dark like color palette or dark like?
No, like fucked up. It is wild what they do in this game.
Nice.
Suddenly interested.
There's a content warning at the beginning of it, and then you should heed that warning because all those things happen, and it is crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
Darker than Doki Doki?
oh yeah. Like not like I can't even think of anything dark. Like I said, it's the darkest game I've ever played. But it plays very well. It looks good. The story drives you forward. There's varying environments, so you don't feel like you're seeing a lot of the same things. But like the game goes from like you playing hide and seek with gnomes to crawling through animal gore real quick. Like it's like a 15-minute difference between those two things. I'm not even kidding. Like it's wild.
Damn, I wish I had a minute to like actually play this. I kind of really want to play this,
Yeah,
but
it's not long.
I legit cannot start that now.
Yeah,
But
it's like 5 hours. I mean, it's not.
still,
I know.
I ain't got 5 hours.
I ain't got 5 hours.
Yeah, so like you play as this kid who, like, he wakes up in the middle of the night and his sister's gone, and there's like a rope hanging out the window, more or less. So basically, you go out there to find her, but then you kind of join, and it's like a weirdo German fairy tale, and all of a sudden you're really small. Like you go from like normal size to really small, and it's very gradual, so you don't really like oh, it's like wait, the scale's not right, and then you see like okay, that's a giant hamster, and this like, and you play the rest of the game that way. So it has like that kind of like wonder to it, on top of it just being like I said, it's fucked up. But yeah, it's very good. I definitely enjoyed it.
Awesome.
There is a little bit of I died a few times just because like the jumping from ledge to ledge isn't great.
Yeah.
If you're like hanging from something, hang as far over as you can. Like if there's like moss on these two different like pillars you're supposed to jump between, go as far over as you can and then jump.
Okay.
Then most likely you'll be lined up. But sometimes it's just like I'm just I had no chance of that one. Sure. Like, you know what I mean? There was like, I just like spazzed out and jumped into nothing. You know, like it was just like, all right, that's all that is. But yeah, it was definitely good. It's like the perfect Game Pass game though. You know what I mean? Like it's like, it's 5 hours, you're in, you're out, you get an experience, something to remember. Like it's the perfect Game Pass game. And then Starfield.
Never heard of it.
We don't have anything else going on, right? We're just doing Starfield the rest of the way.
I think so.
You want to talk about the PlayStation Plus hikes?
It's bullshit.
That's like the only news.
I know.
Pretty much. I mean, or big news is
that Alan Wake got delayed, and Alone in the Dark got delayed.
thank God.
I know.
Okay with
I
that.
totally
okay with
agree
that.
with that.
Those three things. Final Fantasy 16 is getting 2 paid DLCs.
Yeah.
Yep. And a PC version.
Yep. Shocking.
Volition Games closed.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace.
That's okay. After what sounds, it's free on PlayStation Plus.
I know.
I added it to my library. I have no intentions of downloading it or even playing the new Saints Row. It looks just.
I mean, it'll have to be on there for a while, and I'll have to have like nothing else to play.
I
like
never
Saints Row,
happens.
so I might give it a shot at some point. But like texting with you guys when they announced the PlayStation Plus price hikes, I've played maybe 2 games of like from the extra PlayStation Plus, like, and now they're gonna raise prices. Fuck that! I'll go back to the the base membership.
Yep, I'm off of extra, and I grabbed a code on CD keys like the day they announced it because now they jacked that up like $15 on there too. So I got it for like $53. Like I think it was like $52 for the next year. So I was like, yes, they just got one more year at a decent price.
There's a handful of games in extra that I have played.
Oh sure,
but like.
Not like Game Pass wise.
No,
not like
no,
that at all.
And that's the thing too. Like, so many of the games on there overlap with what's available on Game Pass.
Well, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but a lot of the games coming off of Game Pass end up showing up on extra.
And I feel
like
they
the
keep
very
back,
next month.
I feel like they go back and forth.
Yeah,
like
it's
a lot.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I only upgraded to extra because it cost me like $26 for the last year of my or whatever it was of the subscription I had. So I'm just gonna let my PlayStation Plus membership lapse and then re-up at the base level.
Yeah,
and you still keep all this stuff, right? As long as it's the same, because it's the same username.
You keep like the monthly games you've claimed,
right?
You keep exactly, yeah. But yeah, no, that was just.
I mean, God forbid they give you an easy way to just downgrade.
Oh, dude. Well, that's the thing, because mine actually this was perfect time because mine was up at the end of August, anyways. So, but yeah, I had to let it fully because that's the thing too, because I had extra and I bought the card for the regular essential basically, and so when you go to type in the code, it tries to
prorate it,
tries to get you to pay the balance to get extra again. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I had to wait for it to officially expire, and then the next day put it in my code, and then it was no problem. Like then it worked fine. I mean, so when you do that, you don't lose anything. So just if you've never done that before, you don't lose anything. But it's so annoying. Yes. Like that is so annoying.
That's just silly.
Thanks a lot, Jim Ryan.
But that is the price hikes. That's crazy.
JimRyanSucks.com.
The prices are nuts.
Yeah,
on all 3 layers, it's not. They're nuts.
Man, I don't even know. But who knows? It's as it stands right now, it's nuts. And I hope that they have something planned outside of just being like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that their plan right now is fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck me. So we'll see.
Yup.
Yeah, that's it, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been playing Starfield for?
All right, so I think because I was gone most this weekend.
I mean, I could look this up right now.
I'll give us official ones. Okay, so before you answer that question, Art's gonna get the official look up here. But like literally for me, like I think I told you guys this too. Is just like I was toying with like getting the deluxe upgrade thing, which is by the way fucking genius of Xbox.
Oh my god, yes,
dude.
Yeah, the timing was perfect. If it wasn't over a holiday weekend, I wouldn't have paid $30 for it, or 35, whatever the hell it cost.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was 35 with taxes and everything, but you got like the 10% discount because you have Game Pass already, or Ultimate already,
right?
And then, but just like embargo comes up. 8 hours later, you could play early access if you wanted to, and I've already had that game downloaded for like a month. So like, it was literally just like hit the button and go play.
I had it preloaded. Reviews came out within an hour.
Yep,
I had it purchased.
As did I.
Early access purchase.
As did I.
Another beautiful thing about it is I bought the Ultimate Edition, or whatever the hell it gives you or gave you the early access.
Yeah,
I bought it on PC. Carries over to console.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
How easy is that? Right?
Yeah. As it should. Yeah. That's perfect.
How easy is that?
For the record, backtracking here, I said I was going back and forth between Xbox and PC for Madden. If I could have just paid like $100 and got both of them, I would have.
Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah.
That's too easy, Art.
All right, so going back to the official times here. Steak has played for 6 hours and 48 minutes.
Loser.
I told you I've been going back and forth between that and Sea of Stars.
Right, yeah.
Sea of Stars, I think I'm like around like 8 or 9 hours too. So I've been going back and forth.
Hang on. Let me do them in order here. So let me look mine up.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely most.
I'm surprised that's all it is. I thought it was a little bit more than
mine. I've played for 14 hours and 25 minutes.
Loser.
Have you played any more since I texted you earlier?
No.
So Mike's played for 20 hours and 22 minutes.
Nice.
For the record, I checked this. It was either Sunday night or Monday night, and Mike was at like 8 hours.
I was a busy boy yesterday. No, I was the opposite of a busy boy yesterday. So I had a chance to actually play.
I was a lazy ass.
I was a lazy ass.
I love it. I need a day.
So Mike added like 12 hours to his playtime.
I haven't done that in a long time.
I was even thinking about it. Like, I don't know if physically I could do that anymore. Like, I might be able to play for like 5 hours. I'd have to like turn it off and get up and like do a load of dishes or some shit.
There was definitely. I don't think I did. That might be
12 hours straight. You had the Stadium Pal. We know how it goes.
Yeah, that might be a little skewed because I definitely had it like on just like pause.
Okay.
When I ate twice.
Yeah.
And I helped homework, and I wasn't just a complete gargoyle in my room the entire day. I think I did other things too.
I was a lot more interested in that time when I thought you were just a complete gargoyle.
See, that's because that's the thing. Like, if it's during I'm the same way. Like during the day, and that's the thing. I've had moments where I'm home by myself. Yeah. I can play all day, but I don't know what it is about during the day. I'll play for a little bit, but then I'll hit a point where I need to go do something else. But when it's at night, like kid goes to bed and everything, I can stay on for hours
until you get tired at 12:30.
Until I get tired at 12:30. And my body, or I look at the clock and I'm like, fuck, I really need to go to bed.
Yeah, so that's fair. I'm the same way. I've definitely had nights where I'm playing something. I sit down at like 10 p.m. and next thing I know, I look at my phone and it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, shit, I really need to get to bed. This is 2 a.m. is not good. 3 a.m. is bad.
Yeah, that's for some reason that 1 hour makes a world of difference.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's the difference between me getting 6 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep.
Well, that was last night. Like I said, I was playing Sea. My intention was to play some Starfield a little bit more, but then I started playing Sea of Stars, and that was the thing. All of a sudden, I look at the clock, and I'm like, it's 12:30. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I need to turn this. I gotta stop. Like I could. Here's a save point. Perfect timing. I need to stop.
Yeah, when I finally stopped, like I did so much wandering around, obviously. So like, I get to New Atlantis.
You're staring into Uranus.
I scanned Uranus. I didn't actually land on Uranus.
You don't really land on you. Just go right in.
So I spent a lot of time on New Atlantis, just doing like random shit on New Atlantis, and I start doing a bunch of shit on Mars too, because you have like one of your main missions takes you to Mars pretty early. So like a lot of it was me just like wandering around, getting a hold of stuff, trying to upgrade a couple of my perks before I got too far into the game, because I knew I wanted to get more strength. I knew I wanted to do my lock picking. I needed that a little bit higher. There's some of that, so I know because I hate going into these missions and being like, "Fuck, I can't open that," or I can't hold anything else, or whatever. So like I've been doing a little bit of like a grind first before I get back into the main mission. But I did the first, I think, 4 main mission things. Like I brought a couple of pieces back already.
Yeah, so I did a couple of those, and it was one of those things where, and this happens to me a lot in like open world-ish games, where like I get like tunnel vision on whatever I'm doing. Like, so I'll be doing like the main story, and I'll sit there and I'll be doing the main story, and I'm like, shit, I think I'm getting to a point where it's gonna be like a big thing in the main story. Let me go knock out some side missions because I have just a wealth of side missions available. But it's to the point where, so like, I guess,
but hold on real quick. But they have like side missions, and they have like activities. Where like activities don't seem to be too important, but like they still net you some things. Like side missions seem much bigger.
Some of them are very interesting. Actually,
they do, activities. And like it's the way the quest screen is laid out is it's weird because I think a lot of games do like here's all your quests.
Yeah.
And this one, I don't remember seeing that. Like, there's the main quest screen, and then, like, I eventually, like, figured out later, like, I have to tab over to the next one to see, like, side quests, and another one for the activities. And, like, the activities, I went and looked, like, after I've done a bunch of the main quest missions, and it's, like, tutorial level shit.
Yeah, like check out your your inventory in your hull. Like, shit, I could have done that forever ago.
Yeah,
it's like I don't remember ever seeing anything pop up being like, hey, here's the activities tab with some basic things for you to do. So I mean, I guess it's not really a complaint. It's just something I like noticed later on. I'm like, oh shit, I should probably do knock some of this out of here just to clear up clutter. So like,
I was gonna say, I don't know, like go based kind of on that. Like I was never, I played a lot of Fallout 3. I didn't really get into Fallout 4, but has always been kind of Bethesda's thing to like not kind of tell you things and kind of let you just because like I can't tell you how long it took me to figure out that Y was jump. To be honest, it never said anything about that. I was like, because to me, A is like a natural, it's a natural jump and stuff. So I'm like, okay, can I not jump on this? Because this is really weird. And then I think one moment, I just accidentally pressed Y, and I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And then still, there's been a couple times I have totally screwed something up because I go to hit A and it's Y and stuff like that. But I don't think it ever told me that. Like,
no, I think that Y was pick up in Cyberpunk, so that just fucked me. So I'm like, I mean, that's like I'm like some of those that game feels the same in my brain. Mm-hmm. But totally.
And I've still not figured this out yet. So here's me go again.
All right, good. I was hoping we'd get it to be like, what do we have questions for each other? So I wanted to get into that too.
So I've been playing. I've played less than 7 hours. So I mean, I've played the least here. So how the fuck do you quick swap weapons without having to go into the goddamn menu?
Okay, so on the D-pad.
Okay,
you favorite weapons, and the D-pad has like 3 spots in each direction.
Okay.
And you tab over to it, up, down, left, or
Oh
right.
my God.
And then you gotta press the A button to actually select it.
I am so tired of the menus in that game. Like, that's another thing too.
The menus
is not great. Yeah, I was gonna say
No.
especially like, oh my God, like when I go check a map and like go to like the Starfield, like getting out of that. Like, I understand you can hold B, like, but every time I don't think about holding B.
Right.
Yeah, I've zoomed out 3 times. Yeah, I've zoomed out 3 times. Like, oh, I can just hold it now. Yeah.
And I wish I could. And also too, I wish when you're in town, like when when you look at the map, you actually saw like a map.
I wish there was like a city map. Where you see shops here.
Oh my God, it drives me nuts.
I was doing a mission where I came across the guy that does like the facelifts. Oh my God, what's that company called?
Facelifts?
Yeah, well, so you can change the way you look.
Oh. I don't have to come across that.
And he lost a tablet. He lost a tablet that had a bunch of like customer information on it. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I've been to these 3 places. Like, okay, I saw that one place not that long ago. It took me like 25 minutes to hunt that place down, and I was super close to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just like,
it didn't
oh,
give
God.
you waypoints for the 3 places.
No.
Oh God.
No. There's a little bit of that when you're doing like the city missions. Like when you're in there, there's a lot of them like that. They don't give you like specific like areas on a couple of them. Some of them do, but I've had a couple different that don't.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, no city map is just atrocious. Like I don't know. I can understand if I'm just like in a Mars cave. Okay, I don't need a map for that. But if I'm like in the like one of the main hub cities like in the system, let's have a map.
Come on,
Yeah.
seriously. And let me go through the different levels of that map
Yes.
too, like without having to actually transport over there and figure it out and everything
Yes.
too. But yeah, that was I would say so. That's I mean those were a couple of my.
But like that, I was like, I have a boost. Like I have like a jetpack. Like why can't I jetpack? Oh yeah, I get the perk
that
for
skill.
it. Yes, now I gotta go back and unlock the skill. Okay, now I can jetpack everywhere. Cool. A little
I
stuff.
need to
Like,
get that perk still.
yeah, you do.
Same.
So, how heavy are you role playing in this game? Like, do you have like a character in mind, or are you just like?
I just wing it.
So what was your like background and traits and stuff?
I don't remember.
I did Beast Hunter.
You would.
Yeah.
No, but actually, that's the one a lot of people are picking because it has like 2 of like the biggest perks like right away. I forget what they are.
That was the thing. It had the ballistics perk right away, which I was like, well, duh, yeah. And then what was the other one? There was it was like 2 out of the 3 that I got. I was like, well, yeah, I want this like right off the bat. This is gonna help me.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then, because I was going through, I was like, I looked through them all. I read through them all and everything like that. So yeah, I went with that. And then there's that part where you get to pick like the 3 traits or whatever. And oh my God, I was stuck on that for a while. I
worship the Snake King, or do I?
Yeah, I struggled a little.
It's one of those.
That's
like kind of falls back to like a Fallout system where like there's a plus and a minus to every one of those.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
And some things exclude other ones too.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
So some of those, and maybe that's something if I ever go through, play through it and do like a new game plus, like then maybe look at like some of those faction ones, because if you pick one of those, you're in.
That's it.
You're in good with that faction, but all the rest of the factions have a strike against you already.
Right.
And I don't know which faction is which at that. When I first boot this game up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But it was. But yeah, it definitely took me a while. I was like, that part took me a little bit. To make sure, and that's the thing I forgot, because like I said, it's been so long since I've played a Bethesda game like this, and I'm like, oh my God, like all these. And then when you get in the game and I see all the perks and skills, I was just like, fuck, oh my God, okay, now here I am reading through all of them again. Like, all right, what do I want? What do I want to do? And then have you gotten to a point where you can you like get some of those points back from skills yet?
I haven't noticed it yet.
I haven't seen any way to respec.
But it's that when I did go to one place.
I wish there was a way.
Because I put a point in one and I really wish I did it. Like,
so I had one. I don't know how to see about the points, but like one of your main traits, I put mine as extra. One of mine is extrovert, and I found a church that would actually would remove it from me. So there might be something like that in the game I haven't come across yet. But like your main perks, I guess you can remove at some point in time, at least if you find the right spot to do it in.
Okay.
I think the class or whatever I started with was Cyber Runner.
Okay.
Which gives you persuasion, pistol certification, and security.
That's a good one.
Because my thought initially was I wanted to go into persuasion and see how much I can just talk my way out of it.
That's why I did diplomat.
I started putting points. Once I started the game and like those first few things, I was like, all right, I got to start putting some points in persuade because this could get interesting quick.
Yeah. I talked my way out of my first main battle.
Right. Well, I did it, but I tried.
I talked my way out of the first main battle with those pirates on that thing. It's just like you don't need my ship. My ship's got nothing on it. All right, fine.
Yeah, I think I talked my way out of that one
Yeah.
too.
Did you guys see the video? It was going around Twitter about that first Fire Vital one. So like out in the background there, like as you're talking to the guy, you could see like the explosive tank that you could shoot.
Oh, yeah.
basically, and everything. Well, this guy, I guess he threw a frag before the cutscene happened. so then all of a sudden you start talking to this guy, you see this frag come in, it blows up, it instantly goes out of the cutscene and the fight starts.
Oh, nice! All right,
it was really cool. It was like seamless. It was so cool.
That's one thing. Like I've been not so much like talking to people, but like finger off the trigger. Having played Fallout games before, I can't tell you the number of times I've accidentally killed somebody in a Fallout game. It's like, you failed this quest. I'm like, son of a bitch.
But something I'm really liking about it so far is I really like. Well, I don't talk about my character. I didn't even talk about him yet. I made a whole backstory. It's like I paid extra money for this thing. I'm role playing on this thing. So I said he's a diplomat. His traits were like I got the house, which I haven't visited yet. So like I have a mortgage for it and everything. I was extrovert. Because I'm a politician, obviously, and then my last one was I was part of the United Colonies, and I'm good on the ground. So I'm former politician. I grew up in the system. That's why I'm good. I'm proficient with weaponry because I've trained in the military. I was groomed for work. I have one of the traits I did was the religion where like God exists like out in the galaxy somewhere.
Okay.
Because they have that one. They have one was just basically complete atheism, like help people. And they had the last one, which is like the Serpent King. It's like so it gets like all three levels of those things.
I picked the universal one.
Yeah.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah. I did that. I did that literally just because like I put like a big so he was a politician. And he was coming up in the ranks, and then there was he had like a horrible accident, and it scarred up his face. And one of my party members basically usurped my spot by saying that like God is punishing me. So like that's why I had a scar on my face. So I ended up losing my spot. So I had this big house because I used to be a politician. That's why I did the house, and that's why I ended up being back in a mine because I got nothing else to do. So I had nothing else I can do. So I'm trying to make some money.
Nice.
So the way I'm role playing the game now is I'm trying to get power back by being buddy with important people in the world. So like I've made sure I made nicey nice with the Trade Commission. So I made nice with them. I have blackmail with the governor of Mars. I got oh God, what's the police on?
Was it OPSEC?
No, the police is on in New Atlantis.
I know what you're talking about.
I didn't join them, but I'm doing all kinds of missions for them to help them. So I'm helping the police. I'm helping the trades. I'm helping. I'm trying to get influence back. Is the way I'm playing it.
Yeah.
So that's what's driving my decisions on if I should help these people now. Like when I help the Trade Commission, there's a mission in the Well, which is again in New Atlantis.
The Well is awesome.
Well's a very cool place, and you gotta like reroute the wires and try to find out. I did that, and when I got the information, I gave it to the lady.
Which one?
Sorry, you're right. I gave it to the Trade Commission lady, so I can start getting favor with them because she's way more important than the other lady who's just like a worker or whatever.
I guess if I'm playing a role, I guess it would just be like Space Pirate.
Nice.
Who's gonna pay me?
Yeah.
Because I gave the same person the information because she offered money.
Yeah, I'm
credits.
I'm also like trying to get my bankroll back up. I'm trying to keep my house. All right, I'm trying to keep my house because I earned that house and it's my last remnant I have from my previous life. So that's why I am going off the deep end with this thing, and I'm trying to talk through as many people as possible. I'm trying to not get into the front confrontations. I'm trying to talk my way out of things, but spacers come out of nowhere sometimes, so you got to take them out. I had another mission this is what I was going to talk about originally. There's a mission. I get the blackmail on the governor of Mars. He sends me to I become like an assistant to this guy, and I go to. He's like the president of the mining group on Mars, and he has a package that has been confiscated by the Mars cops. Long story short. So I go to the Mars cops. They send me to the governor. Governor's like, I will give you this, but you need to go to my ship and blow it up.
Insurance fraud.
Okay. So I go there, and I could blow it up if I wanted to, or I could board it if I wanted to. So as I'm approaching the ship, they hail me, be like, hey, we're this, and this. Like, someone's like, so I try to talk to them. and they find out that I'm not, there's pirates in the ship, and they find out that I said I'm a pirate, and they're like, oh yeah, cool, okay, come on aboard. And they're like, okay, well, your lingo was terrible. Like you don't sound like a pirate at all. And I don't want to tell you what happened. Yeah, I don't want to tell you what happened on why. I don't want to tell you like the main piece of the mission because it's kind of interesting. But like, I was able to get something off of that ship. Then I blew it up. So the governor thought I blew it up, but then I had a blackmail piece for him. That's something that I found on there. That's why he wanted to blow it up. So it was just like, I blew it up. It's like, and it was like I got like a shit ton of credits from him for like basically handing over the evidence to him. Little does he know that I made a copy. So I got 2 of them. I don't know if it's gonna show up again because like I think this is like a glitch in the game. Honestly, like I found the piece of evidence. I took it. I left the ship. I blew up the ship.
You looted the remnants of the ship.
I looted the remnants, and it was still there. So like I think I have another one. I don't know if I can use it or not. But every time I come in here, he's like, do not come back in here and blackmail me ever again. But he knows me.
Guess what I got?
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know if that's actually gonna play in at all. But like it fits my story, so it's fun.
I like how sometimes some of these stories, like I had a story, so I did it was one of those activities in New Atlantis where I'm talking to the tree guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one point where he's like, "Oh, I need this guy. I need this information from this guy, but he hates me. So he's like, go talk to him and everything. Just don't mention that you know me or whatever."
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. So then I go over there, I start talking to the guy. He's like, dude, Kenneth sent you that over here, didn't he? Yep. Like, and blah blah blah. And then he's like, all right, you want this? Fine. I got a lot of on my record. Go erase my records for me, and then I'll give it this to you. And I'm like, all right, so I gotta do something bad to help the nice guy. Like, it's like this guy's a dick, but to get what I need for the nice guy, I need to go be a dick too. Yep. And like it's so crazy, like the way like it makes you do stuff like that.
I was really hoping it was going to give me an option to put something else in there. You know what I mean? Like I thought like I could erase it, but like put something back, like put something else in there. Like, you know what I mean? But again, that's not the guy I'm going to have influence on. He's in, he's part of the masked group. So like he's gonna get promoted and things like that, and I've done a favor for him. I'm leaking news to SSNN, so I can get the media on my side as well. I got a whole thing going on right now.
All right, Art, I need your story. How did you end up in space jail?
Oh yes.
So I texted you. I don't. Oh, I had drugs. That's what it was.
Where did you get drugs?
I don't remember.
But have you got any xenomorph material yet?
No. But I have gotten harvested organs.
Oh, nice. I've gotten that, and I've gotten some like
you paid well for harvested organs.
I got some like heretic literature or something like that. Okay. Thank God I never left Mars on all these things. I was like, I kept finding all this crazy shit on Mars, and it's like me and the trade commission, we're buddy, so I can tell them whatever the fuck I want.
When I texted you guys, like I had forgotten like the first 5 minutes of the game where they show you the trade commission in that first area.
Yeah.
And like I went into one of the systems. And I was trying to get to. I didn't know you get scanned when you go into the system.
Oh yeah.
I thought you go to the planet and you get scanned. Yeah. So like I went in there and immediately was like, you got contraband. I'm like, son of a bitch. And long story short, I'm in space jail. Which actually that kicked off like a whole story quest.
Cool.
Where like the jail guy's like, hey, we got this pirate group. We want you to infiltrate and get evidence and give it back to us because we're trying to arrest them and shut them down.
Very cool.
And that has set off a whole...
Nice.
So now I'm like off with them trying to prove my worthiness to be in their group. And it's... And like the first thing that group tells you is like, hey, we got this guy who defected from our group. Go kill him. And like the police chief's like, we want you to fit in. Do what you need to, but this is not a green light for you to just start slaughtering people.
Yeah, right.
Well, I went and found the guy, and he's on a ship with somebody else. So I'm talking to the captain, trying to like persuade him to just hand him over to me.
Yeah.
So I can do whatever I need to do. That went sideways. My favorite thing I've done in this game. They're in like the small part of a ship. I'm on the other side of the door. I just chucked a grenade in there and closed the door. Open the door back up. Problem solved. But then like you go back and the leader of the law enforcement, like he's like, he goes off on you. Like, that was not approved. This is not the way we conduct ourselves. Blah 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 blah. So that's the main side quest that I've like gone down the rabbit hole on. And I'm still in the middle of that. Like I had to turn it off last night. I'm like, okay, it's bedtime.
Yeah. I played Madden last night. Like I was like, I got like an hour left. It's like I don't even want to start anything yet.
I've been switching back and forth between Madden. Like if I had I had an hour in the middle of my day today between when I finished work and I had to pick my son up, and I was like, an hour's. I'm just gonna scratch the surface on something in Starfield, and I'm not gonna.
Right.
Basically, when I've been alternating, so I've been alternating, which helps me not get too bored with either Madden or Starfield. But also, if I have less than 3 hours, I just play Madden.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because if I start playing Starfield and I hit something that grabs me, I will be there for hours. I will miss sleep time over it.
Right.
That tree mission you're talking about, that keeps going.
It does.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know.
It just keeps going and going and going and going and going.
I know. I feel like every time I complete a mission, I can go back and talk to Ken
again.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, how much does this guy want to know about fucking trees?
It's important
he's
stuff.
so nice, so I'm gonna help him.
One of the things I wish there was a way to just turn off the dogfighting in the game.
I have done nothing outside of the story dogfighting.
The only thing I've done has been one fight was involved in a mission, but there's one where I went to a planet and I'm getting attacked by 4 different spacecrafts, and I just jumped to the next place before my ship got destroyed.
Book it, yeah. I don't love it either. I've not put any thought or money into my ship yet at all.
I've done small, you can the first ship you can only do small upgrades.
Yeah.
And I don't have the money to buy a better ship yet. I did a mission where I got a different ship, but I couldn't equip it with any weapons. It was literally just a transport ship.
I was on Mars, wandering around as one does, and I came across these 2 guys, and their ship was there, and their ship was disabled, and they're part of the UC. So I'm like, all right, I'll help these guys out. I grew up UC, and so they're like, we need a ship parts. I didn't have any. The thing is, also funny is it's called ship parts. You know what I mean? It's just
by the way,
your random ship parts.
If you find yourself carrying those around, those are 10 weight each.
Oh, we'll get to over encumbrance in a minute. But
I got a story there, yeah.
So I'm in a place where okay, there's probably one around here. So I found it. I don't think I give it to them. They're like, thanks. That's it. What the fuck? I guess I could have asked them for money, but I was just thanks. Anything else? I'm like, motherfucker, I just helped you.
People ask for help, and I don't offer to help if there's a prompt for money.
It's we are in the middle of Mars right now. No one's around. I could kill you both and steal your ship, but then I got to answer, and I don't know what to do with your ship if I steal it. So
you could sell it.
To who?
If you take it to one of the landing pads, just go to a planet and go to the landing pad.
Yeah.
The guy who does the people who do the upgrades on ships.
Yeah.
You can sell it to them.
I might go back and get those guys.
There you go.
Because that's that transport ship that I got last night. I was like, cool. This is my new primary ship. Let's get some guns on this thing. No, there's no options for guns. I'm like, oh,
fuck.
How do I get rid of this ship?
Yeah.
I don't even want this in my inventory.
So over encumbrance. I like the way they handle it a little better in this one than previous ones where in Skyrim or whatever,
you can't move at all.
You're crawling. Now it just eats up your oxygen faster, which is still a pain in the ass, but it's livable, especially when you get the jetpack, because the jetpack doesn't take as much oxygen when you're so I'm just moonwalking down.
Okay.
I'm Mars walking down Mars. But yeah, it does not take long, and I got that thing leveled up to 3 already, and it's still happening. And I went out after I did the first bunch of main missions. I left everyone at home and decided just to go out by myself, which was a terrible decision.
So I would say the one thing nice is when you're doing the story missions, you almost always have a companion, and they can just be a pack mule for you.
Yep.
Oh, is Vesco? Is that the robot's name?
Yes.
Love Vesco.
Vesco's awesome.
Also, I know because I oh my god, what was my character's name? I think it was James Aldrin.
Mine's either Buck Futter or Turd Ferguson.
Nice.
Every game.
So
Every game. Madden will not let you spell turd the correct way.
Bastards.
They won't use Buck Futter either. I have to spell turd T-E-R-D.
Terrible.
Madden sucks.
God, no fun league. But yeah, I actually used AI chat, and it's what would be a good name for an American on a space colony and a fictional thing? And it gave me Aldrin. I'm like, actually, that's really cool because I could Buzz Aldrin, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's I have in my headcanon for my character, I have no at all relation to Buzz Aldrin, but it's a good name, and some people might recognize it, and some people might just vote for an Aldrin. So that worked out. That's why I went with that. Nice. But Vesco will actually say Aldrin. Like Captain Aldrin. There's a list. There's a very long list of names that he'll say. Yeah. So I'm like, oh my god, he knows my name.
That's awesome.
But it's just what a kind of a random thing for all to work out. Do do you talk to the Bing AI? Like,
Are you guys working together?
yeah, like, that'd be cool if you did.
Is the Bing AI Vasco?
Why not? They have Cortana already.
Yeah, right.
Like, had Cortana and Vasco.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I mean, those guys are pack mules. Like, yeah, and I said I went out without them because I didn't want I don't want them judging me for my stuff I was about to do. And like,
there's so many times like I'll like go into a building and like see what's around, and I'll go back outside and like stay here,
stay here, close your eyes, plug your ears,
stay here. I gotta steal some shit.
The amount of times like I would New Atlantis and I gotta get to the ship and I'm up above, and instead of going around, I just hop over the damn wall and go down. Every single time, Sarah, so we're doing acrobats today, are we? Like, was that really necessary? Like, she's her comments.
Man up, woman.
But I guess Vesco's just down. Like he won't. If you like do some bad shit, he won't say a thing. He's just a robot there to help you. So
Vesco's
like,
awesome.
So whenever I go on side missions, I'm bringing him with me.
That's what I'm going to start doing.
So I was on one of the main missions, the old neighborhood.
Oh yeah,
the first one with Sarah. So I'm on the first place you go before we're getting the information before you go. So my next step is to go to Neptune. That's where I left off.
I think that's where I left off as well.
Okay. So when I was in there, I'm moving around and everything, doing collecting guns and everything, ammo and stuff. And I'm like, a lot of the junk and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna grab this shit. Like, I don't want this because I don't want to get, I'm on a mission. I want to finish the fucking mission. All of a sudden, I'm running, and I notice. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm just going through. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, why is my oxygen going? It took me. I'm like, why is my oxygen going down so fast and my CO2 is going up way quick? Like, what is going on here?
Because you're carrying 240 weight when you can only carry 130.
And that's exactly basically it was pretty close to that. It was pretty close to that. So now I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, I'm already halfway through this mission in this area. I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, well, it looks like I'm walking everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, I have to finish this. Because I was going through and looking, I'm like, I've got shit here worth shit. And I'm like, no, I am not going to get any of this. So I'm like, all right, I got to get through this. And once I got through it, and I'm like, all right, then I got to New Atlantis. And I was like, all right, I was able to sell it and everything. So now I'm like, okay, whoo.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, cool. But now at least I know, because that's the thing. I think I was knowing the way Bethesda normally handles that. I was expecting, and I'm like, and as I was picking up stuff, I'm like, man, I can carry a lot. I'm like, I'm moving around. Like, I was like, I'm not slowing down at all.
There's no slowness. This is great.
This is great.
Why am I suffocating?
I'm dying. No.
God. Yeah, it's like, and I mean, God, I pick up everything. And I'm always like, I'm only 300, meters or whatever it is, like away from the next thing.
I can walk slowly there.
Maybe it's just like a scan thing. And then of course it's like, it's an underground tunnel that has like, I found one where it was like a weapon locker.
Oh man.
And it was like two $14,000 guns in there. I'm like, ooh, I got both of those. Yeah. And then I'm slowly walking my way back to my ship because you can't fast travel when you're over in Cuba, which is like the biggest thing.
Yep.
Like, well, I'm not going to miss on these things, and I'm not going to walk back here. So let's just do this now. But like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I mean, we talked about the local map already, but just like there's a lot of menus in this game, but like the actual like play of it is pretty good. Like, it's the best shooting Bethesda game.
Yes,
like, the best shooting Bethesda Studios game.
I like the gunplay. I like the gunplay. As it is, really makes me wish there was a way I could play this with a DualSense. Because just the trigger pulls and all the haptic feedback in the DualSense would just add to it.
I did finally. I don't know what took me so long. I finally opened my Elite controller for this game, and so
nice.
I have my little profile for it. The little orange logo comes up for this one. Like, it's a whole thing. So I'm finally actually using this thing because I don't need it for Madden. I don't need it for Arcade Paradise. I don't. So I'm finally using for this one. I had to take I had a right bumper on the longer paddle originally. I had to take that off immediately because my hand kept hitting it, and that's grenade. So that caused some problems. But other than that, yeah, it's nice to finally have that out of the packaging and using it. But gunplay wise,
I was saying, I of course, this is the first time I ever used my Starfield controller.
Yeah, right. Of course,
Starfield. Yeah. So nice, a fresh new controller.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you compare this to Fallout games, it's definitely better than they've done in Fallout. And I don't know if it's because this doesn't have VATS that was always in Fallout, so they had to, felt the need. They had to make the gunplay better. But yeah, I can sit there and run and gun with a shotgun. I can, I have a rifle with a scope, and I can sit up behind some rocks and pick people off. And
that's one thing I don't have yet. I need to get myself a long range weapon.
I found them. Did you do the story mission with Ko yet?
No, that is actually where I left off. My first talk to him is where I'm at right now.
I'm pretty sure walking around with him, I found a couple guns that are long range, with scopes and have other mods on them. And
I got this one. I got a modified Maelstrom that I don't know where I even got this thing from, but that thing it has like a rapid fire thing on there. It just like throws the entire, and it has that and the extended clip. So like I'm just like throwing like 40 bullets at a time at these guys, and I'm just ripping them to shreds.
But yeah, I mean, I like it. The different classes of weapons feel different.
Yeah.
It makes me want to, upgrade all the firearms specialist skills so that I can craft mods and make the guns I want. Yep.
I didn't think I would, but I actually really like the laser guns.
I haven't even fired one yet.
Oh my god! I mean, I'm not using it a lot, but it's like kind of like a backup one, but like for like some distance because it's the one I have a scope on it.
Okay,
that's why I found it that way with the scope. But I like it.
I only found one. I've only used one so far, and it was a laser rifle with a suppressor on it, and I stopped using it right away because it did like 2 damage.
Oh.
Yeah. So I haven't played around with those much. Like I'm having no problem racking up these kills with bullets.
Oof, man. So I am ripping people to shreds with that one. Oh my god! Like every time I go into any city, I load up on bullets and that thing and everything. That's oof.
Well, that's so when I have me and my pack mule go to whatever shop, I sit there and sell stuff until I run them out of money.
Yep.
And then I buy bullets from them and then sell them more stuff to get my money back.
Yep. 100%.
I haven't robbed any, sellers yet.
No, there's a couple times I wish I had pickpocket because I just thought it was a thing I would just have, let alone a thing I have to unlock.
So that's the one I actually kind of wish I could take back, only because I had a mission.
That's funny because I have stealth, and that's the one I wish I could take back.
Okay,
because stealth doesn't seem to do shit.
Yeah, because so the one mission I have was like you got to sneak into this one place, and the guy. And so you can only get in with like an ID card.
Okay.
So the one guy is yelling at me like, "You're not allowed in here. You can't come in here." Blah blah blah. He turns his back. I never get an option to like pickpocket. I'm like, clearly this guy has an ID card.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I pickpocket this guy? Like, I'm like, because then I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I'm like, oh, I bet if I hit and that was the thing. Like knowing how these games work, I'm like, oh, I bet if I hit pickpocket, I could just take it from him and go in and do the mission I got to do.
Yeah. If it's
nope. I'm like, oh, so now it's like, okay, so that kind of like is a bummer. Like I kind of felt like I wasted a skill point on that because I was only doing it because I like for that mission, and I'm like, well, if it works for this mission, I'm sure there'll be others, which there still may be others, but at least for this first initial one, it didn't work. So I was kind of a little disappointed with that.
Yeah, with the stealth, I've like been in crouch, walked up behind 2 guys, and they turned around before I was even within 10 feet of them. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I putting points in the stealth for?
You gotta like crouch and like slowly walk. You can't. I did the same thing. Then I had one later on where I like slowly walked somebody and hit him with the axe in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And but they didn't see me coming. So
I haven't done anything with melee weapons.
That was pretty much the only thing I've done is sneak up behind a few guys in the first couple of missions and use it. I just got a machete though. Woo! Very happy about that. I haven't used it yet though, but I'm very happy about it. Have you guys felt any Bethesda jank yet?
I've only seen one thing, and it was what's the lady at the Constellation who comes there first? Yeah, I went in somewhere to talk to someone. And in the background, she just ran full speed into a wall and just kept running.
I've had a few weird things like that too. That's the someone like walks backwards like into the field of the view of the camera because I like stop their motion, so they like walk funky that way.
I had a waypoint that was constantly jumping on me at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the only thing. For like, it was like in New Atlantis though, so I wasn't sure if it was like kind of getting confused with like the city and the way it worked.
Yeah.
So it was maybe some of that, but it was like, so maybe a little bit of that, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I was making my way to the waypoint. Now you're saying it's over there.
Yeah.
But then I start walking over there. Now you're saying it's over here. Like it was like I don't know. I was like that was a little weird, but that was really the only like hard like solid jank. I saw.
I have a couple of those weird the awkward things that happen, but I mean it's like it is what it is. The two I had a guy, he was taking cover behind a sign, and I went around to the side of him and shot him, and then his arm flung into the sign and just stuck there. I had that, and then there was another one where there was a locked gun case, but the stock of the gun was hanging outside of the glass, like through like it clipped through the glass, and I was able to click it, so I got it without even like doing anything. So that was cool. But
Supposedly, I saw a video. I guess like one of the best like suits in the game
Yeah,
is similar.
yep.
Oh, really?
It's behind a glass case.
It's
but
in-
if you inch your cursor
Yeah.
right in like in a certain spot in the crease, you can get it without opening
Yeah.
it. You're supposed to get it like way later in the game
Yeah,
too.
I got that before I even talked to the Constellation people.
Oh, wow.
the first time.
Jesus.
I walked in their building and started like running around looking at things, and I was down there looking at it like, and I just happened to like line up there, and it's like
That's awesome.
click mannequin. I'm like, all right, I clicked it, and it's like it gave me the menu to like take these 3 things. I'm like, all right,
Nice.
But like, I mean, some people talk. I mean, I don't. But this does not feel. I mean, I've played some janky ass shit from Bethesda, like when
Right.
Skyrim first came out, and when Fallout 3 first came
Vegas.
out, and New Vegas, and all those things. This is nowhere near any of those things. Like this is
no, this is
100% the most polished they've ever released.
yeah. Not. I mean, it's not even close. It's fairly solid.
and it's when I had that moment where Sarah, turned into the Flash and sprinted into a wall. Like I saw that, and at first I was like, ah, shit, here we go. It's gonna start popping up now. But that's the only thing I've seen happen like that. And I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think everyone expected it to be better with Microsoft's backing, and they took longer to put the game out to polish
a
it.
year.
Yeah, which I don't think they could have done without being part of Microsoft.
Right, exactly.
'Cause you need to
exactly.
get the game out to get the money for it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been great as far as that goes, especially for a Bethesda game.
Yeah, 100%. Which makes me feel better about Xbox's upcoming releases as well. The fact that it has been taking forever to release these games, but if this is kind of proving it right here, like let them work, let them get the game correct and everything, that's why it makes me think, because Avowed, I could have seen like if Avowed came out last year or even like earlier this year, it could have had that typical Bethesda kind of type of, it's Obsidian, but still that Bethesda type of jank to it.
Right.
Where now I think it is going to be more of a polished thing when it does eventually come out. So they're kind of letting them do this because like I'm very impressed with how smooth this game is running. Like, especially even on Series X being 30 frames, it is like a solid, almost. There's been a couple instances here and there,
Especially during takeoff and landing.
Oh yeah, and also like when you're transporting in New Atlantis, it really really drags sometimes. But other than that, like during combat and everything, it's a solid 30. Like I haven't had drops like during like the high end moments like that at all.
Yeah, I've been playing on PC, and I'm getting a pretty steady 60 frames. It might drop down to like 52 at times.
That's still not bad though.
No,
at
it's
all.
no complaints. It looks great. Where it's transitioning from like into a load screen or out of a load screen, it might drop down to like 30 frames a second, but it's a black screen, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's been running great. Knock on wood.
So like, have you been seeing all the stuff about New Game Plus and how like that's when the game starts?
I read Pete Hines said something or tweeted something that once you roll credits, that's when the game really starts.
There was that, and then
a bunch of reviewers were saying too.
Specifically, Greg Miller said like he's played through like 6 times.
Yeah, that's what I was listening to one of their podcasts in the whale where he's like, I'm on New Game Plus 5.
Like holy! First of all, that's insane.
That's insane.
I'm also extremely worried because I mean, you all know how I play these games. Like I'm 20 hours in, and basically at the same story beat you are.
Yeah, right.
It being like 8 hours in. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm sure I'd be much further, but I think I'm not quite to the extent you are. But like every room I'm in, I'm checking every corner, every item.
I gotta pay my mortgage, man. I gotta get that money.
I mean, I don't have to pay a mortgage, but
So that was the thing.
Wish I did have a mortgage.
And that's why, like, I told myself when I started seeing all that, I'm like, well, maybe I should do that then. Maybe I should start. So I started doing that. And then I got to New Atlantis, and then everything else started popping up, and goddamn, my brain cannot ignore shit. Yeah. So, but I was doing I think I'm doing a good balance where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a couple of these. I'm gonna do a few, like 2 or 3 of them, and then go do a story mission. That's kind of what I've been like. That's what I think I'm gonna do is kind of keep it this way. Because I know because this game is so huge and there's so much to do, the side quests can get just overbearing and just take. And this is usually why I never finished these type of games either, especially from Bethesda.
Yeah.
So in this one, I am really interested with the story and everything. So I want to get through it. So I think I'm going to keep to that, like 2 to 3 side missions, and then go do a main mission. Just because also too, I want to have some more perks and like gain experience and have some more shit to do. Like so I'm not like dying during the main, like, because actually I have died quite a few times, but usually it's also my fault. Like I'm running and gunning in there.
The only times I've died have been in the dogfighting spaceship stuff.
Me too. But yeah, I'm super interested in the story, honestly. Like but like not enough to like only do the main mission, but like so I'm interested in it.
Up until a couple nights ago when I got thrown in space jail and started my, covert mission with the space pirate.
That's so cool.
That is awesome.
I can't remember what the space pirate group is. It's Crimson something. And I always think Crimson Raiders, which is from Borderlands, or Crimson Jihad, which is from True Lies. I don't remember.
Crimson Fleet?
Yes.
There you go.
I like Crimson Jihad better.
Same thing.
But like up until I hit that part, I was doing like there's the activities, which are whatever. And I did a couple side missions, and I was like, the ones that I got early on, I was like, there's not a whole lot of substance to these. It's like you play through, the last Horizon game, and it's like those side missions are like, it's a thing. It's part of the story. It's part of the experience. And I'm glad I finally got to this one because it's like it's its own storyline. I don't know how long it's going to go on. I'm sure at some point I'm going to have to make a choice whether I'm actually going to sell these guys out or go with them and screw over the cops.
Yeah.
But it's like it's an actual storyline. Like I'm how you go into the mission board at your mission log. And there's like the title of the mission, and you hit it, and then there's all the sub things. All the sub things fill up a whole goddamn page so far of what I've done. Because it's like, go here, talk to this person, kill this person, go, fight these ships with this person, go on this mission with these people, talk to this guy. And the whole thing's filled up already, and I don't think I'm anywhere close to the end of it. So knowing that there's side missions that are long storylines like that makes me a lot more interested in them because the first couple, and I think even there's the whole Pete Hines, the game doesn't start until you roll credits. Even in the reviews, a lot of them said 10 to 12 hours before the game really kicks off, which I would have to agree with because those the main story is good. Each of those individual kind of quest lines where you go get another artifact with a different person. There's that, but like. I like having side stuff to do because if you just do that and mainline it, I will burn out on that.
Yeah,
sure.
And like the side missions and the activities, like I'm just walking through town and like overhearing something, and then a new activity pops up. It's that easy. Like just walking to like I'm just trying to get to the lodge, trying to get the constellation, and I'm picking up 2 more things to do.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything else Starfield related. I
want to play more.
I do too. I have a big problem. Like I said, I just talking about scanning
12 hours in a day. That's your problem.
I'm like, all those different bars they have on each individual planet is gonna be a problem for me. Because like there's so you go to a planet and it says like, all right, there's like 80% of it scanned because you got to find all the flora, all the fauna, all the materials they have on there.
Like I don't even know how to so the materials I'm fine with because whatever you scan a tree, you go pick some from the tree or the plant, you scan the areas and it tells you there's aluminum here. Okay, you go find an aluminum deposit, use your cutter, you get that. Like the flora and fauna, like nothing's marking off on those for me.
I have found some plants that have marked off. You got to go all the way to it, look at it, and there's a scan button.
Okay.
So I think it's an A. But but with the original your original scanner you got to be within 10 meters, which is pretty close.
Okay.
So like I've angered some animals because I got too close.
Yeah, and I've definitely fought some wildlife.
Yeah. So like I had to there is like an upgrade to get that a little bit further away.
Maybe that's what I need to do because, it's like it's one of those things where I'll see like all the stuff lights up when you scan, and I'm like, okay, let's go see that, and let's see what that is, and let's get that aluminum, and let's get that cobalt, and the next thing I know, I was 500 meters from the objective I was going toward. Now I'm 800 meters from the objective I was going toward. I'm like, all right, I'll be here all day scanning stuff and harvesting if I don't get back on track.
And they have like when you're looking at all those things too, they tell you like the how much percentage of the flora you found and fauna you found. They have those little circles too, and those are like. So far, I found both of them from Mars, and it was just like events that happened on the planet. So it gives you like a little bit of a story, like I found a meteorite landing, and there was a special material on there. So like I found that, I got the material, but then also filled in a circle that give you a little more history or like give you more information on Mars. So that like adds to your overall scan of the thing. So like there's a lot. I was saying that's just for like one planet, and Mars is on the lower end of these things. Like when you look at it, some of these things have like 5-6 circles on there. They have all this flora and fauna. Like I have not really. I've been on New Atlantis. I've been on Mars. I went to Earth briefly just to check it out, and then but those are all the only planets I've been to, and most of them are pretty barren. So like I have not found like a lush system yet to like actually explore and go around, which seems like that's a lot of the game too. So, man, it's a thing, man. It's almost overwhelming, but I'm enjoying it so much that I don't feel overwhelmed.
Have you done any of the whatever it is, base building stuff?
I did one of the
outpost building.
I did one outpost. So I put an outpost out there, and I did like, I'm such an idiot. So I don't even know if this is right or not, but I think yesterday, because like when you're walking around scanning, like the ground will light up for lead.
Right.
So that's where you're supposed to put your outpost, and that's where you're supposed to put your lead mining equipment there.
Okay.
So they have like lead equipment, water equipment, whatever it is. And I did not realize that the very first time I did it when I was on the moon and I found something. So I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but I found a piece of contraband on the moon, and I'm trying. Like I didn't want to like bring it on there, so I put my my outpost down there. I have like a water drilling thing, which is not going to find water because there's no water there, like an idiot.
I feel like when they they do a tutorial one where I think you might be on the moon. I don't know where the hell you are.
I think you are, but yeah.
But they do a tutorial where like, here, press this button to put down outpost. And it might tell you to put a certain type of equipment, but it just kind of glazes over it.
Oh yeah,
like a whole system of the game. That's one of the things. Like the brief tutorials kind of annoy me because there's a mission early on where you have to dock at some place, and the prompt came up while I was in the middle of a fucking dogfight. Oh. So I had to like Google like, how do I dock at place X?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the tutorial said, press the button to scan, then press A to mark it, and then you'll get the button prompt when you're within 500 meters to dock.
Yeah.
I spent, like, the first night I was playing the game, it wasn't a rage quit, it was like an annoyance quit. Like, I just stopped, because I'm like, I don't know how to do this. It's 1 a.m. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed before I hate this game.
Yeah.
And, like, the next day I went back and tried doing it again, because I thought, like, maybe you had to, like, slowly ease the ship up there, and then you'd get a prompt, and it wasn't happening. So finally, I just paused the game, and I'm sitting there on my phone on Google. I'm like, how do I dock at X?
Oh, I actually did the exact same thing for a mission because I had no fucking clue. I'm like, I tried landing on it myself. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't realize a prompt was going to come up.
Well, that's like, I don't know if you heard what I was telling Mike, but like when the prompt came up telling me how to do it, I was in the middle of a dogfight. I'm not looking at words on the screen while I'm flipping in the air and trying to shoot this other ship.
Right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that too. Like the tutorials, like stuff is very brief and on the top, and there's like a whole other UI all over the place. So it's just like it's hard to like look and be like it's hard to focus on what's important
or something you should know.
Yeah, but I also feel like this is also what the game kind of wants you to do with what we're doing right now, and like talk about like figure shit out. But anyway, back to my moon base. So like I found a piece of contraband, and I didn't want to like go anywhere with it. So I just
you don't want to go to space jail.
I did not. I'm trying to get reelected, so I threw.
Politicians don't get it.
So I threw down a piece of contraband, like basically just like on the floor by the base. I'm like, maybe it'll be there when I come back later. Like hopefully it'll be there. So I'll let y'all know if
it's not. I picked it up and I went to jail for it.
I mean, to be honest, if I can get away with finishing this game without modifying my ship or doing any base building.
Yeah, I don't. And base building.
For me, those are two things I really just don't. It's so involved and elaborate. I don't like care.
I like the idea of like having a crew and like sending them to like the base and be like, all right, that's your guys' outpost, and like send me the resources.
Right.
I like that idea, but I want to do like I want to buy my base out of a catalog. I want to be like here's a base.
Give me the lead harvesting base.
Or that exactly. Just give me a
Like, I don't want to put fucking walls up and chairs up. I don't want to do that.
It's like my ship.
I didn't want to do it in Fallout games. I didn't want to do it in Assassin's Creed games.
Right.
I just don't want to do it.
I'll spend more money. Just let me buy a different ship with upgraded guns and shit like that. Like I don't want to build one. Just let me do that.
So you don't have to build one. Like upgrading the guns and stuff is pretty. It's simple. You go into the modify ship and you click through each one of the the 6 systems for
Okay.
your ship, the 3 weapons and
Yeah.
the energy shields and the jump, whatever that's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
And you can upgrade each of those components. You click on it, and it just gives you a list of available components you can buy to upgrade.
Okay.
You don't have to do like the full customized ship
Okay.
thing.
Well, I'll at least do that. Then I'll at least upgrade. Then.
But I wish it was like Assassin's Creed, where it's just like in Valhalla, like you would have like a set base, but like if you want to improve that base, you just bring resources back there, and then base would happen. You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know, like, or you want to have a better version of this piece of your base, and you bring this specific resource back, and then it would
or even if
happen.
it's not resources, you want to upgrade your base. You want walls around your base? Give me 5,000 credits. Here you go.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just I'll find a piece of land to plop that thing down on.
That's I'm interested in that whole aspect of it because you do need resources to build like upgrades and stuff and craft stuff for weapon mods, armor, helmet, spacesuit mods. But like, I don't want it to be a giant pain for me to set this thing up. Okay, now I have to sit there and send people there. Now I gotta build some place for them to live or sleep or whatever.
I want to find a moon or a planet just for me, and that is where I'm going to rule.
You might be able to.
I might be able to.
You'd win every election.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you start, having other people live there, then you might give challengers.
No, fuck that.
You need someone to deal with challengers? Give me a call.
Yeah,
For a price.
naturally so. Any other Starfield thoughts, experiences, questions?
No, I wish I had less stuff to do this weekend so I can,
Amen.
just sit down for
Dude,
6 hours and go.
I know. I'm looking. We've got so much stuff going on. I just, and it sucks. So, like I said, that for me, like, because I really am. I'm super enjoying that Sea of Stars too. So it's like I am balancing my time between. I wish like that would have came out like later or earlier or something.
Not this week.
Not now.
Bad time,
It's
yeah.
such a bad time. I mean, I know they're different games, but for me, like, but no, because I do want to get through, because like I said, I am really interested in the story, and everyone hinting at like how just crazy the ending is and everything. It's like, okay, I really want to get through this. So my goal is to get through this before they release Baldur's Gate 3 on Xbox.
Yikes.
Because that is another going to be an hour sucker. And it's great though, because that saved me, because them announcing that, okay, we are going to release it on Xbox this year. Great. Do not have to even worry about the PS5 version. I can focus on Starfield, and then when that comes out later this year, that's when I can get it.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to say I'm surprised by how much I'm liking it, but like, remember when they showed the first like gameplay of it at whatever show it was at? I was just like, oof, I don't know about this. And it's come a long way since then.
Yeah, I am surprised by how much I'm liking it because space science fiction stuff is not my cup of tea.
But you like pirates. You want to be a
I'm a
pirate.
space pirate. I don't want to be a pirate. I want to be a space pirate.
You love Fallout. So, I mean, this is space Fallout,
Yeah,
essentially.
that-
I mean, it really
yeah,
is.
it is.
So, I mean, so at least it's still all that same mechanics and everything. At least, and then also, I'm glad the story's like, interesting enough and stuff. Like,
and
enough interesting things are going on to keep your interest.
Right,
even though it's
and I mean,
space-related.
honestly, if you want it to be the spaceness of it all, you can minimize a lot.
I
Oh,
don't.
sure.
I mean, you can get there and fly to the system and then fly around, but like, I can just fast travel directly to the port.
that's
and
what-
it's
yeah.
like-
And that's what I've been doing.
I
Like,
fast
I've been
travel.
Like, I have no desire to fly
set
around.
my course, hold down the X button, I'm gone.
I did get one. Like, when I went and
Like
saw that
scanned by security in a space jump.
when I went to the governorship, when because I mean, obviously there's no like spot to go there, so like I'm kind of like just make my way to that general area and fly
Right.
there. I did get hailed by some random guy being like, I just let you know that there's this place over here that you do not want to go. So
Oh,
it's
I did
like,
too.
Yeah,
That was
so,
awesome. Yeah.
So like, so there's a little bit of that. It's
Maybe I
like,
do want to go.
but there's like a little bit of like, you do miss out on some of that stuff if you're not flying, because like you'll get hailed randomly by whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that you missed out on, but I don't know.
I mean, there's
so
I
much
miss
in there.
Yeah, there's already yeah, exactly.
I miss out on that, but I also am avoiding how many unwanted space jet battles.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
One on one, I'm fine. When there's multiple ships, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I don't think I have not fought anybody outside of story missions yet.
Like I said,
I think the space battles are done well, but at the same time, like I said, I don't know. So about the ship, I just have no desire, like any interest in like the ship aspects whatsoever.
I want
just
my guy
don't.
to be awesome. I want my abilities to be awesome. I want my gear to be awesome.
can I just like call Space Uber to take me from place to place?
Right, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I want a car service for space.
Yeah.
Last thing I'm gonna say is also like is it is surprisingly good looking as well for
Very
how
good
much
looking.
they have on there.
Yes.
Like the detail in the areas. New Atlantis is huge and massive and crazy, and there's all like when you like kind of actually go into individual spots, you see all the different details.
Only
So-
the trees are ugly. The trees in New Atlantis are very ugly.
And the trees and like all 3 districts look exactly the fucking same.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
yeah,
like
100%, yeah.
there was, I was trying to find that goddamn restaurant. I was trying to find that goddamn slate for that guy for so goddamn long. I'm like, I fairly positive it's in this district, but I can't see. Like I could not find where ultimately where it was, but finally I fucking found that place.
But no, yeah, but I agree. Like that opening cave, just stunning from the beginning, and then
Yeah.
like any other like smaller like area like that, like the whole well area was amazing. And yeah, it looks really
Yeah,
really,
a lot of touch, a lot of love.
Oh, 100%. It looks really good. Like I said, it looks. Yeah, I'm impressed.
All right, Starfield, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else?
Nope.
Let's go.
Not for
play.
now.
Let's go play.
Let's go play. All right, see you next time, Stickheads in space.